See this, and you know, a lot of people like, well, Pastor, you should be happy that they getting guns, especially like those assault rifles, AR-15, or rifles out of the hands of people. Listen, let me tell you something. My protection comes from God. I don't need an AR-15. I don't need a grenade. I don't need none of that. Because I serve a God that the weakest angel will take out a slew of armies. Okay? That's where I stand with God. But since I'm a messenger in this world, but since I'm a human angel, and you all should be human angels as well, with a message. When the Bible said in Revelations chapter 13, verse 7, the good news message. I seen an angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach it to those that's on the earth, every nation, kindred, tongue, people. We come with the good news, so we are messengers. We are angels, human angels sent from heaven to God. What makes you a human angel is when you are conformed. Your brain is not of the world anymore. We're not conformed to the world anymore. So our protection, our weapons are not AR-15s. Our protection are not grenades and bulletproof vests. That's not our protection anymore. If we was carnal, then yes. I would have about 20 of them jokers. You get what I'm saying? AKs, everything. Because when I was in the streets, I loved guns. I loved 45s, 9s, Lugers, everything. I had a new gun for every outfit I had. Right? I had guns everywhere, all over the place. And I don't care who it was, where it was at, I had to have it on me. Sometimes we stand on the block with it in the back. Didn't care. You get caught with it, you gone. Did not care about it. But since I'm not of this, that old man is dead. Who trusted, the Bible said not to trust in princes. Or he said the princes trust in their horses and their tools, their weapons of war. They trusted in that, and God said it failed them. So no, I don't trust in that. But what I will say is for the people. What I will speak is to the people, and I've been talking about this in the Pastor's Chronicles a lot, that these false flags and these shootings in the school is the result of, now watch this. Now, I'm not racist at all. My mentor is a white man, right? But I will say this, it is an attack on white people. And I always say that. I always say that the government is attacking white people. And you say, well, why that? Why is that, bro? Because if you bomb up the hood, are we going to war?
If you bomb up the hood,
if an Iraq or if an extremist Islamic Jesuit, because that's who they are, come and bomb up the hood, will you go to war?
Yeah.
Huh?
Will we go to war?
Will we go to war?
I believe so.
Okay, watch this. The hood is getting bombed up all day long.
That's true.
Chicago, I just put up something on the Patron page about Chicago. Last year, 620 people died. Just now, 260 people already died in Chicago.
2018.
In 2018. What's happening there? Where's all the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jackson and all these type of people? They're not there because it's not a part of the agenda.
Right.
And it's black on black crimes because of the Illuminati puppets brainwashing them, having them thinking you got to be real and a thug to survive in the hood. Right? So watch this. But if you bomb a place where a bunch of high-collar white people are we going to war? Yes. Now watch this. It's still on the books that if a black man kill a white man, he's automatically, he could be put to death. It's still on the books. It's still on the books. It's still there. Why is it still there? Because they want to continue racism. We need white people. They need us. That's how God made it. God made it that way. We can't strive without one another. That's how God made it. But that is not the agenda that the secret societies are pushing. The societies are pushing depopulation. They don't care if you're white or black, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino. They don't care what you are. They want depopulation by any means necessary. They don't care. So what they do is divide and conquer. You don't know, in one of my Chronicles, the Snoop Dogg Satanic album Part 2 talks about that very thing I'm saying. What Snoop Dogg, because he made a video of him put the gun, it was a play gun, to Trump's head, and it said boom. The little thing came out, boom. Trump was a clown looking dude. But to be honest with you, Snoop Dogg and Trump is playing golf together. It's called controlled opposition, to where one side seems like the bad and the other side is the good. You don't know which one. So what's happened is, if I decide to, as I'm being a black man, decide to go with Snoop, right? Then a white man go with Trump. Or if I'm a black man want to go with Trump, my own race going to call me a Oreo. You get what I'm saying? So what they're trying to do is divide and conquer racism. Now, this is what I want to say. The AR-15, why is it that they want those guns? Did you know, and I said this in, I think too, in part 2 of Snoop Dogg Demonic Gospel album, that the reason why, remember Pearl Harbor? Remember Pearl Harbor? What happened with the Chinese when they bombed Pearl Harbor? Remember that? You know why they didn't continue? They wiped out that Navy right there. They almost wiped it out 100%. You know why they didn't continue to invade the United States of America? They didn't continue to invade the United States of America because they knew that the Americans were armed. That's why. They knew that the American people were armed with AR-15s and all kind of crazy stuff. In that one time, you're going to have the thugs and the citizen white people coming together to fight. And we talking about 50 cals, grenades, and all this stuff that people got. You like, how you know what? On the street you had grenades. C4s and all that stuff. We could get that stuff. That stuff was shipped to us. Bill Clinton let the plane with guns come down to Florida. We all bought it. Wait, thanks, Clinton. C4 till you doing no beef no more. Who said that? But that's real. C4s and stick grenades and real grenades. People got them. And every nation noted about the United States of America. They are packing strong. They know that. This is why God allowed the Second Amendment to be there. This is the only reason why this nation is not in slavery right now. Right now. But it will. It will. You know why? Because what is it that the devil uses? Fear. When these white people start crying, I'm not going to say white people, Caucasian brothers and sisters, okay? Because they're not white, they're peach, right? All right? They don't look like crack cocaine, right? But when they start crying, because they're not going to, you don't hear them going to St. Aug and what's these black colleges? You don't hear black colleges getting shot up, do you? Do you? Ligon. You don't hear black schools getting shot up. And we all know that. Let's cut the case here. Let's get straight to the story. We know why black schools are not getting shot up. Right? But every time you turn around, a white school getting shot up by black people, white people. What's the message they trying to send? What's the message that they're trying to send? They're trying to say white people are dangerous. Number one, they said white people are dangerous with guns in their hands. Well, what about black people? They're dangerous too. They're killing each other like crazy. They don't want you to see that though. Don't see that. Don't worry about that. What about the Latinos? They're killing each other too. They gangs. You're not going to hear too much about it. They don't want you to see that. They want you to see Sandy Hooks, the Florida shooting. They want you to see that. Las Vegas. They want you to see a bunch of white people getting shot up. We got to do something. Why? Because how many black people you know really can name a bunch of politicians? Very few. And if they do, they only know the black politicians. They only know Democrats. The only thing they know is Hillary and Clinton. Hillary and Bill Clinton. That's all they know. And I'm not trying to degrade. I'm a black man. I'm not trying to degrade. But they're not concerned about that. The only thing they're concerned is that they will get help to rise above their situation. That too is an agenda. Divide and conquer. Keep one race down to hate the other race, and the other race will look down on the other race. Divide and conquer. We need each other. Now watch this. Because how in the world did we defeat slavery? Was it just by white people?
No, it was not.
It was black and white. Was it just by black people?
No,
it was black and white. That's how racism was conquered. We need each other, but they're trying to divide us by making us look down on white people because they don't have the swag. By making white people look down on us because our young man is dumbified, walking around here with showing their boxers and looking silly. Amen. Yeah. That is an agenda. It is mind control. So let's get back with the AR-15s. What is the purpose? And now they start to run up in white people's homes now. For no reason. Taking their guns. Did you know when, I think I did a Chronicle on this, when Katrina happened. They were running up in white people's houses taking their guns. For no reason. They will kick down their door and say, give me your gun. That right there was an exercise. It was only an exercise. That when disaster happens, the first thing they're going to do is come get your guns. Now watch this. I'm going to do a Chronicle on, if you haven't seen my Chronicles, not Fear the Walking Dead. That's a good one to look, but Walking Dead Chronicles. I'm going to do another one, which we see they got the season is ending. But this is what stood out to me about gun control. The saviors went to the garbage people. If you've been following The Walking Dead, you know what I'm talking about. But the saviors are people who's taking control over every, The Walking Dead is a zombie apocalypse. Right. But the saviors created a one world order, a one world government, and they're controlling everybody. And the only way they control it is by taking their guns. So he went and took the guns from the garbage people that lived in the garbage area. Once he took their guns, he then turned on them and killed them all with their own guns. And you can see that. I also I did a Chronicles on the Florida shooting. I'm talking about that in part 1 and part 2. They want to take guns. When they take your guns, they're going to turn around with your own guns and kill you. You're not going to talk smack anymore because you don't have guns. They want those AR-15s, Because those AR-15s is basically, it goes toe-to-toe with the guns that the Army have. And you got to think about this. It's more citizens than the Army. And so if all the citizens of the United States come together and overthrow the government, that's a wrap. Because that's what we have done before. When the British tried to bring us into slavery and stuff like that, we fought out for our freedom. And it has happened plenty of times. But they want those AR-15s. They want them. Why? Because that is standing in the way. Because you think you're going to go hand to hand with a handgun when they coming in your house with machine guns and you only got a handgun. You're going to take your handgun and be like, oh, snap.
You swipe down.
But you got, and they know how to saw the pin to shoot. And they got many banana clips. You're going to protect your family and protect everybody else. But that's why they want those. And now they are, did you know they even trying to pass a law that the AR-15s are not covered under the Second Amendment? The reason why they saying, because we're having too much trouble, lunatics getting AR-15s and shooting up schools. They're only shooting up white schools. Why are they shooting up white schools? Because that's how they're going to get the people's attention. Too many black people and Hispanics are dying. They're dying every day. That's not getting people's attention. But if you shoot up white kids' schools, it will get your attention. And so the attention is, get rid of the AR-15s, and you can only have a certain amount of bullets in your house. This is called gun control, so they can come in and eradicate your family. It is an attack on white people. Because what black people, a lot of black people going to fall in line. Because automatically they think that everything is against them. The United States against them. The opinions and ideas of people in their mind, everything is against us. We're going to fall in line. White people saying we're going to die too. No. You ain't going to die either. You're going to fall in line too when they take your guns. When you give it up. You see, they say, well, look at Australia. They got gun control. Look at this stuff. But did you know that their assaults are rapid? Robberies, assaults are going up. Robberies, common law robberies, and stuff like that. And guess who still got guns? The criminals. You know criminals gonna always have guns.
So they take away the guns from the citizens and the crime rate went up because the homes is no longer being protected. Right.
What are you gonna do? Hey, with a knife. Hey, get back. Sit down.
The army.
Get back. Then you got swords. You're taking it back to the days.
But isn't it the same way Hitler took over Hitler took over with MK Ultra also, but basically they took away the guns from that country, so that when they went to invade, they couldn't defend themselves.
And they even lined up not only Hitler, but the Chinese. I got in on the Florida shooting, Chronicles. All them, and some of them is you can see it all throughout time. That is a bad idea to give up your arms. It's a bad idea because they would set them all up and just shoot them all. Oh. If you talk junk, let your mouth fly like it got wings, they're going to shoot you right dead in your face.
You said something about the amendment, so therefore are they taking the right to bear arms out? They took that out?
Okay, now they got the Illuminati puppets screaming, gun control, gun control. And guess what? They're behind it. They're behind the shootings. They're behind the shootings. Now watch this. So what they're trying to do is say that AR-15 assault rifles is not protected under the Second Amendment. Under the Second Amendment, it says that the U.S. citizens, United States of America citizens, can bear arms. But it don't say what type of arms you can bear. But what they're trying to say is those assault rifles, those rifles is not under there. They even ban like Tommy guns and all that. They ban all that stuff. They ban that stuff in the early centuries. Now they're trying to ban AR-15s because AR-15s, they know they can't destroy the Second Amendment, but AR-15s and AKs and all that kind of stuff stands in the way of martial laws.
Anything that got rapid fire that can fight back, yeah. You can't, because you think about it, man. You get 2 soldiers with 2 M4s to come in your house.
He's trying to say they can just run up in your house and take your gun.
Right. How you gonna fight with a pump shotgun?
You can't fight with
You can't fight with a pump
Here you go.
Get 1 or 2.
Right. Right.
You be already shot before
You shot up, so you.
Right.
Yep.
You gone.
Gone. So the
Damn.
pump,
That's it.
yeah, the pump
That's
shotgun
it.
ain't a threat. Little 4.5 ain't no threat.
Not a handgun is
All
not
that
a
is
threat.
not a threat.
It's not a threat. None of that is a threat. The threat is these AR-15s, these guns. They are a threat to the agenda that they're trying to push. Because they don't want to wipe out their army. Because what can you do when so many people come with these things? What can you do? And so I believe, like, what was that movie that Jamie Foxx played in with my man that played in 300, when these foreigners came and bombed the White House? You ever seen that?
What's the name of it?
I forgot the president something. But anyway, in that, it shows how the White House can be taken out by a legion of people that's armed. And I'm not telling people to do that. I'm not telling people to do that because the United States of America is our home. We patriots, right? It's our home. We protect the White House. We protect Washington, D.C. We protect our president. We protect, because that's how we thrive as a nation. United we stand, divided we fall. We strive as a nation. But what they're showing is the subliminal message behind that is that when you arm people, they can come and overthrow the White House. So you have to de-arm these people. Once you de-arm these people don't have the firearm to do it. They may have strategies, and they may come with little handguns and little pumps, but we can take them out with these sprays with our machine guns and our 50 cals and all that stuff. We just spray through the whole crowd and everybody submit. Kill one person. That's how it was in Walking Dead. Kill one person and everybody else submit.
Make an example of it.
Make an example. Kill a couple other people and other people will bow their knees to you.
See that, and see, if you notice, and I've noticed it with myself, like when the news come on and you hear black man gets killed by white cop,
right?
You just keep scrolling. You get to the point
where you get to the point you come numb to it.
Yeah, you numb to it.
Right.
And I feel like that's why America has gotten that we don't got numb to.
They're zombies.
Yeah,
we zombies.
So,
right.
so we forget about that type.
Or we crack a jest or scoff at it.
Right. You know what I'm
saying? He should be dead. Look at his hair.
Right.
He need to be dead.
But 2 years ago, we was all patriotic about it.
Right.
Al Sharpton and just.
Now watch this. I want to show you this now. I'm going to show you how the agenda is going forward. Because now I got Caucasian brothers that raise up the flag, the rebel flag, the Southern Heritage flag. I talk to them. We give hugs. We talk. He talked to me about the beliefs that they have. Okay, those are the type of people who believe that way. But they don't want to see a black man with it. Would I wear a Confederate flag? No, I won't. Will I wear a Crip flag? No. Blood flag? No. A David flag? No. I won't wear no flag. The only flag that I wear is blood covered by Jesus, right? But I'm not with the flag stuff, no organizations. But I understand what they all are doing. Don't mean that I agree with it, but I understand what they're doing, right? So, but then you got these type of people that say that it's not a racist thing. The Jesuits are hearing that. The secret societies are hearing people like that. They don't like that speaking. They like that. They hate that kind of talk. That it's Southern heritage. It's this. They don't like when you say that. They want you to say, we hate black people. That's what they want you. So guess what they do? They bring in their puppets to say, no, it's not the heritage. It is KKK, it is evil and all that. They don't want that. So what happened is, I've seen a bunch of skinheads attacking some Ku Klux Klans. And saying, I said, yeah, you seen it. And they drawing guns. They're drawing guns. The skinhead younger, it's younger men that's rallying the point that it's a peace. It's got, what they say is got something to do with Andrews. Andrews been nailed to a cross, and Andrews' cross was like an X. And so they take that symbol and go with it. But they said that it's a sign of peace. That's what they're saying. But then you got the other left wing that say, no, it's a sign of white supremacy. So they're bumping heads. They're bumping heads. You got the same color bumping heads now. You got the skinheads that say, no, it's Southern heritage. And we've given homage to our dead ancestors. Then you got the left wing saying, no, it's white supremacy. And so you've seen both sides pulling out guns on each other. What are they doing? What are they doing? Then even in the midst of the Ku Klux Klans, there's a division. Because you got some that want peace, unity. But that unity and peace is not a part of the depopulation agenda. So they have to put in their puppets that's under my heavy monarch programming or MK Ultra programming to go up in there and stir up. They got to have a Judas in there to stir up the peace that they're trying to commit. And that's among whites, among blacks. It's like that. Some of these people that's in the streets are under MK Ultra programming. They are a part of the Masons, the Freemasons, the ones that worship duality. Duality is good and evil. You ever seen black and white? Black and white, checkerboard, black and white, black and white. That's duality where there's good and evil, good and evil. Evil can't exist without good. Good can't exist without evil. Both are gods. That's what the Freemasons believe in. Duality, good and evil. You have to have evil to exist. You have to have good to exist. You have to have right to exist, wrong to exist. That's what they teach. That's what they believe in. They believe that the devil brought forth the knowledge of evil so they can see that they are gods in the making. People, we living in a world that's evil. And the stuff that's happening in the churches, in the schools, in the workplace, in the buildings getting tumbled down, and all that is orchestrated by the Illuminati and the Illuminati Freemasonries. And guess what? If you really want to know predictive programming, look at the movies. Bart Simpson tells it all.
All the time.
Look at the movies. 911, 9/11 was orchestrated, and it been going on in movies and cartoons for a minute. For a minute. And it finally happened. September 9/11. A lot of other things. Prince getting murdered. This person getting murdered. That getting murdered. But all that stuff was predictive programming. We got people that's controlling our nation. This nation has been bought. The governors, the politicians, the presidents who you think you voted in, you're not voting them in. We seen it with Bart Simpson when Trump won the election. It's called predictive programming. They're predicting what they're going to do, and they sharing this among those of the secret societies while everybody else sitting back having a good time looking at it, and they actually telling you what they're going to do to you. There's another movie that I watched with my man Nicolas Cage in it. He was a gun dealer, and he was selling guns to certain poor countries so they can wipe each other out. He was the advocate of the government selling guns to different nations so nations can wipe each other out. And they was arming small little armies to wipe out other armies. And we know that the U.S., they are doing that. They training, who you think trained the Afghanistan, the Taliban? Who you think trained the Taliban to fight against the Russians?
In the Cold War.
In the Cold War, the Taliban were trained by the United States of America. And the United States of America are still training little armies to fight their battles. Do you actually think the United States is actually out there fighting? No, they're not. They are garrisons in certain places set up to oversee the battles. They give them money, riches, gold, guns, and everything that they need to fight their battles. And on the same time, launch the battle against their own citizens. It's what? It's about to get real. Yeah. That's why now we have to get right with the Lord, because God promised when he come back, guess what? He said, I'm going to destroy those that have power to destroy the world. That's what God said. He's going to come back and destroy those that have power to destroy the world. So this is why our Caucasian citizens, they are under attack. Because they standing in the way of a lot of things. Because you know how when it comes down to Caucasians, our Caucasian neighbors, they love freedom. They don't know how it feels to be slaves. Well, I take that back, because they were slaves before too. Every race was slave. But they over here, they believe that this nation is theirs. That's what they believe, right? A lot of them believe that, right? They believe that they want to be free, and they're supposed to believe that, right? We're supposed to believe that, right? But look at the oppression that a lot of other races go through. We are so conditioned that we don't care if it happened because we already in hell. That's how we feel, right? But the Caucasian neighbors, they feel like they're free. They walk around smiling, jogging around with their little dogs, their little puppies. They think everything is copacetic, right? They want that, so they're going to fight for that, right? But so therefore, guess what? They attack their what? Kids. They attack their kids. And they feel like, well, I got to send my kids to school so they can learn. They attack their kids. They attack their working place. They scared to go because a plane may run into a house or a building. They scared. So when they start getting scared, guess what they're going to start calling for? Tougher laws. They're going to start screaming for tougher laws. They're going to say, do whatever you can, but protect us. And it was almost martial laws in September of 9/11. Everybody it was so many people willing and ready to give up their freedom to be protected. Why? Because we are used, the brown man, the black man are used to war and fighting. They're not. They sit in their house and listen, I'm not putting down no race at all. Please don't think I am. Because like I said, we need them, they need us. We need each other to stand. But it's reality. And let's look at reality in the face. While we struggling to make ends meet, and they struggle too. They struggle too. Matter of fact, it's more white people on welfare than black people. Did you know that? You ain't gonna hear that though. You're not going to hear that. I've driven to West Virginia, and I've seen our white citizen neighbors' homes, and I come back and I look at the brother in the hood and say, bro, you better not say this to hood. I seen the hood. I went to West Virginia and seen the hood, bro. I seen the hood.
West Virginia, well.
And who live there? White people.
White people.
I seen the hood. This little hood here that we see in Raleigh, North Carolina, boy, that is their mansions.
Oh.
You living good. When I went there, I seen houses about to fall. I'm about scared they're going to fall over my truck.
And you looking for black people to come out.
And you're looking for black people to come out, and it's white people coming out of there. So what I'm not saying is more white people in this nation on getting government help. But what I'm saying is when it comes down to war in the neighborhoods, dumbing down, being a target, they don't want unity among white and black. We all know it. But who is behind it? The media. You don't know that there's more white cops killing more white men. I said that to a white brother. He said, nah, that ain't true. I said, you don't know what you talked about. It's more white cops killing more white men. You know why? Because white people will fuss a cop out. I've seen white people pull out on a cop. They will fight a cop, but a black man be like, no, because they think they're going to get shot on top. That's what the media have them thinking. That's not true. And I'm going to tell you why it's not true. Because I was a thug in the streets, and I went to war with the police, and they were so sympathetic. They're like, you don't know what you're doing, young man. I didn't have white men cry over me. White cops cry because they seen the potential in me, and they seen that I kept getting in trouble. Trying to get me in programs and all that. You don't see this stuff. The only thing you see is what the media wants you to see, that it is a war between blacks and whites. The black community and the cops. But you don't know that there's more white men getting shot down by the police, and there's more black men getting shot down by who? Another who? Black man. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that. Because it's against the agenda that they're pushing. And what we doing? Sitting back in our houses, looking at the news, seeing this happening, and we're not doing nothing about it. And I said, look, our white brothers and sisters, you need to sound your alarm now. You need to speak up, because soon it's going to be what? Knocking at your door. And what you going to do? Now what they doing? Cops are raiding white brothers' houses, taking their AR-15s for no reason. No reason. Going up in their houses with their families, taking their guns. How many families do you know in Katrina, black families, do you know that the army went in and took their guns? Won't that many? Yeah, what they were doing was laying out the Bloods and the Crips, killing them. And you got to think about this. If they're going through so much, people forgot about their colors when Katrina hit. You understand? People forgot about their sex because their buildings, their neighborhood were flooded by water. So you're going to sell drugs in the water? You're going to bang and say, this is my set? When you don't have nothing there. No, this is the point. Those people, they come in, they giving food. They're giving food. They allowing food to drop from the helicopters and planes, and you're going to shoot at them. Why are you shooting at them when they come to help you? They don't make sense. No, it was an operation. It was an operation. It was a operation to see what they can do in the midst of devastation. And so they're going up in this old woman didn't want to get up her 32. They beat her up. She was an old woman. She said, no, I'm not going to give you my gun. They beat her up. She actually pulled out. They beat her up. They all could have killed her. That's what they want, your guns. So they're going to keep, it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. So what they're like, shoot, what can we do? Let's let teachers have guns in school.
They don't pass that.
Let's let teachers have guns in school. Guess what's going to happen with that?
Teachers will snap on them kids.
They're going to snap on them black kids and shoot them. Or the white kids, because white kids getting crazy too now. Math and all that stuff. And the way, and white people will kill your butt quicker.
The teachers be stressed out too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you think I'm playing? Them white kids will pull out on you. How many times have you heard black people coming shooting up the schools? Every time there's a white kid with some army fatigues. Remember that happened? Mm-hmm. I forgot what year it was in. They tripped the alarm, and all them kids came running out. They was taking them out one by one. But what you fail to realize, have you ever did research behind these kids that do that? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, one of them.
What? Guess what? Majority of those kids are orphans. Orphans. Pass to house, orphans. What do they do with orphans? Why is it that a judge is locked up for federal charges and her brother was murdered? Her brother was trying to reveal, he was a government, he worked in the government, and I got this on my new page, Patron. He exposed high-profile pedophilias in the government, and somehow he come up missing. And then she goes, his sister, which was, I think, a federal judge, she goes to protect her brother. She locked up for 8 counts of federal counts. And then the journals spoke against the family, and the young man went trying to protect his family, saying they're attacking my family. So these orphans are those who they use. They place them under heavy mind control. And a trigger. There's a trigger key. There's a key. The handler has a key. You ever heard of the key? Jay-Z and Future. The key. They talking about the key. The key words that will trigger that, where that kid will, under now, the certain shattered brain fragments, the handler uses it, and that child go as a zombie and go shoot up everything and shoot themselves. They're programmed to shoot up everything as much as possible, then shoot yourself. Because what happened is, if the law catch you, and they found out they was under some kind of, like the young man that Florida, they say he had what? Mental problems. That's mind control, dissociation, different personalities. Kill yourself. People, we're living in a wicked world where they're after your children to kill you and your children off so they can live forever in this world, who they believe that Lucifer will come and give them immortality. People, now is time to get it right with the Lord Jesus Christ. It's time to get it right with the Lord. Get your life in harmony with God, because you need that protection, because it is getting real. It is real. And so when your guns are gone, you gone. Amen? Amen? Amen.